Hey there, it's Jim and Debbie, your best friends on the internet, and we are back with episode 87 of the Midday Minute. Debbie, it's been more than a minute since
It
we were
has been
together.
a couple of hot minutes since
Yeah, a
we
little bit
last
more.
recorded.
Yeah, it's been about 3 months. I mean, we just got super busy and then we were decompressing and, we
And
decided
then
to
we
take
thought,
May off.
what better occasion to come back on to talk about convention?
That's right. It's one of our favorite traditions. It actually dates back to when we were podcasters before we were discovered for our beautiful faces and
Yes.
put on the YouTube, where we quickly became YouTube curiosities. And that's our convention preview episode with our colleague Kate Edsey, who's our development fundraising manager here at the foundation, but also our event planner. And
Mm-hmm.
she can share her insights. The two of you guys went to Austin last fall with the pre-convention visit that we always do, the site visit, and you know who better than to set people up for what to expect next week in Austin than you two.
Let's have at it.
Well, we've been doing this for several years now, these previews with Kate, and just want to share a quick preview, a quick pro tip with you all before we bring Kate out here. When she speaks, you're going to want to turn the volume down a little bit. All right, long time middies will understand the reference. All right, let's bring her in. Without further ado, the unestimable, is that
Inevitable.
right? Inestimable, the esteemed
Our
Kate
esteemed colleague.
Keating, the incomparable Kate Keating Edsey. Welcome back to the show for our annual convention preview with Kate. Excited to have you back. You've been doing the rounds on the YouTube channel. I see you were
I
did a show recently
have
on taking a sip. Yeah.
taken a sip. Yeah, the only one I haven't been on is the Hoop Shoot in the Breeze.
They of course
But
have the highest standard of the three
they
shows
do. They
on the
do.
channel. Yeah.
We
And
can
I try to
arrange
stay in the
that, I'm
background.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Kate, I thought we would start with, we were in Austin for a convention 12 years ago. All three of us were there. And maybe we could each share a favorite memory from that convention before we get into previewing this one. Who would like to start?
Not
Debbie?
it.
It's been a dozen years, huh?
Yeah.
Um, Convention in Austin 2012. I'd say the thing that just pops to my mind, just that you said that, was I think that was the first year we started running into Tim Kelly from New York in the lobby everywhere we went. And that became a convention tradition after that.
It's
So
uncanny. You walk into a hotel and it's
Everywhere.
not necessarily where New York is staying, and there he is.
there,
Obviously, you
he was
walk to
just
New
always
York's
there.
hotel, there he is. But we just kept seeing them.
So
And
that became like a
yeah,
funny
an
thing with
ongoing
him. So
joke that's still
yes,
happening 12 years later. Uh,
yes. Hopefully it will continue again this year.
And I think the larger point there is you go into convention year after year, you make a lot of friends, people you see maybe only once a year, and we
Right.
always look forward to seeing those people. That's why
Right.
one of my favorite things about convention is working the booth, which I know isn't always a popular choice among our staff because it's long days in the convention center. But I just enjoy seeing these people who I see year after year.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
it's fun. Kate, how about you? A favorite memory?
I had a preview that you were going to ask this question. So while I was in the waiting room, I did a quick peek at our schedule from 12 years ago. And something that I really enjoyed that I don't know we maybe talked about bringing back is we had a very small private luncheon between a couple of our donors and our board chair at the time, Val Bates. And we had a great lunch. We talked about the future of the foundation, and that's not an opportunity that I think a lot of donors or Elks have. So that was it was a nice break from convention to sit and have a conversation, and we had a good time doing it at one of our favorite restaurants, mine and Debbie. So
And it's still there,
and it's
actually,
still
12
there,
years
and
later.
that was a really nice highlight. Also, I was looking at my schedule and seeing that I had a different job 12 years ago and was not as immersed in the events as I am now. So maybe that was part of my favorite part, was getting to work at the booth and enjoy more of the interaction with our members, which it's a bit hard for me now.
Yeah. Well, speaking of enjoying convention, my favorite memory from Austin and there was a lot of great things, work-related things, but some of the things that happen on the side at convention are a lot of fun. And in Austin in particular, 6th Street was just such a great destination. We spent a lot of time on 6th Street at the Dueling Piano Bar and some of the other places there, having a good time, kicking back with the staff after long days working the exhibit hall. And that year we had our alumni of the year with us, a former scholarship recipient who had gone on to bigger and better things. He was actually the mayor of a small town in a northern state. I won't name the town or the state. And one of my jobs with our scholars is to lead them astray, I guess. One of my
God.
official
Give
capacities.
them education into the real
Oh
world.
my
And just
God.
to be clear, he was an adult. He's an adult now. This was not a kid. He's a former, he graduated. He had a job now. He's an adult. And we had a good time hanging out. And the next morning, he was spotted leaving the hotel in a hurry with his luggage trying to catch a flight. So I think that's my favorite.
Kind of a good
Mission
time.
accomplished.
Yeah. You know, I used to spend more time on Facebook than I do these days. I hardly ever do, but we were Facebook friends. And every year on his birthday, I used to pride myself on always giving meaningful birthday wishes to people on Facebook. That was about the only thing I used it for. And really the only thing I miss. And every year on his birthday, I would say, this year, I hope they give you the key to the city. Anyway. Okay, let's start with what we're going to be doing at the booth. We've been doing it every year at convention since 2019, and that is our Spotlight on Service collection. Again, this year, we're going to be collecting new socks and new or gently used children's books. Again, please, viewers, don't mix those two things up.
Do not. Also,
we do not want your gently used socks. New socks only, please. And new or gently used children's books. We've lined up some organizations to collect those things. We're going to be serving people in the Austin area. What are those two organizations?
They are the VA will be getting the socks, and a literacy organization in Austin will be picking up the books on Monday. And
right, that's one change, is we're only collecting Saturday
listen up, everybody.
and Sunday. That's important. We're not going to collect them on Monday or Tuesday. And the reason for that is as you get closer to the holiday, which is on Thursday this year, it becomes harder to find people from these places that are willing to come and pick up these items. So we want to make sure.
That's one of the most difficult things that we have to do.
Is like figuring out. And when we're doing it, when we're also closing down the booth and the exhibit hall is closing, it's just very difficult. So we want to give ourselves plenty of cushion to make this happen. We'll collect through Sunday. It's plenty of opportunities for you to drop by the exhibit, drop off your socks, drop off your books. And when you do that, we will enter your lodge into a drawing. And as we say, we will select a lodge that will receive a bonus SIP grant of $2,000 to use in some fashion or to combine with one of the other grants. And we always say we're going to select one winner. It's not always more than that, because we're always so blown away by your generosity. If that happens again this year, we of course will select more than one winner, spread it around a little bit. But that's been a highlight of convention the past few years.
For sure. It's a highlight. I mean, having people come and, talk about their favorite book and leave that behind, or just, I think last year we probably talked about this on one of the episodes, but remember the people who brought like the suitcases full of socks that they had collected, and one of the airlines let that bag be checked free or two. So there's really amazing stories about it. And it's been a really fun dynamic to add to our convention, schedule.
Yep.
And to collect more every year, I think, is what's great. And we've received a lot of phone calls and emails about it too already. So I think people are packing and getting ready to bring us new socks.
Having been in Austin recently, Kate and I were there in the fall for a site visit. I can tell you there aren't many places to buy new socks or children's books while you're there. So plan ahead, people.
Okay. Good advice. Now, is there going to be a day of service? Are we going to have the Scholar Advisory Board in town?
Yes, Jim, we are. We have 9 members of our Scholar Advisory Board and 2 members of our Hoop Shoot Back Board, which is the alumni advisory board for the back board. We call them for the Hoop Shoot, we call them the back board. So we'll have 11 college-aged people with us, and they'll be serving at an organization all day, probably 2 organizations on Friday, June 28th. one service light in the morning and one in the afternoon. So we're really looking forward to that. That was huge hit last year. When we were in Minneapolis, we partnered up with the Hopkins, Minnesota Lodge and Minneapolis Lodge, and we had just a wonderful opportunity to do that. This year, since there really isn't a lodge close by in Austin, like you got to travel like an hour plus, we'll be serving the city of Austin in the name of the Elks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So why don't we now pivot to another, what's always a highlight of convention, our donor events. Kate, can you talk a little bit about how one might receive an invitation to our donor event and what's in store this year for our donors?
Yeah, so we actually have 2 donor events, let's say. Both of them have closed to responses, but listen, learn, hopefully we'll see you next year in Kansas City. So on Saturday night, we will be joined by a couple hundred of our faith level donors. That's those who have given $1,000 or more within 1 fiscal year or included us in their estate plans through the John F. Malley Society. And we're going to come together and have some food, some drink, and a band, since Austin is the live music capital of the world. So that's exciting. And then
there's one thing that's unique, I think, about our donor event is it's not a fundraising event.
It's not.
It's a thank you.
Thank you.
Event, right? It's an appreciation event to our donors who've already donated money.
It is. It's so nice that you can come, be appreciated, enjoy. We always say that our event on Saturday night, which is technically before convention starts on Sunday with the opening ceremony, is really the calm before the storm. It's casual. There's no tuxes. There's really not any speeches, things like that. So it's a casual, fun event to kick off the convention and to say thank you to those who have made large gifts throughout the year.
Right.
Now, Sunday, we get up and we have Bagels with the Board. Bagels with the Board started last year and is just going gangbusters, much like the Giving Club that it is which is a recognition benefit, and that is the Fidelity Club. So those are our donors who give a monthly gift through their checking account or through a credit card. And we have about 700 people coming to have a bagel, some coffee, and meet the ENF Board of Trustees along with the Elks Scholar Advisory Board and the BAC Board to mix and mingle and have a nice break on Sunday morning. And those who attend will get this really great little pin. So if you see these, if you see these around, you'll know that this is a person. I sustain our foundation. We are always looking for people to sign up for the Fidelity Club, and you can do that at our booth.
Yeah, that's exciting. We did not know what to expect last year in Minneapolis because it was a new offering for us. And man, we had more than 500 people attend.
And people
it was a great event. Yeah, they loved it.
Yeah. It's so convenient, right? It's there at the convention center. And obviously people like we are passionate about the Fidelity Club.
Right.
True. And we want to thank them. And that's another thing. They come, there's no ask. It's a thank you and an opportunity to mix and mingle with some other like-minded Elks, which pretty much everyone's a like-minded Elks, obviously thinking about service and what we can do for our communities, but especially this group who do give monthly and contribute to us through the Fidelity Club.
No, it's not all just fun and games and recognition at convention. We also are offering another full slate of educational programming.
Monday Madness. We have 3 seminars. 2 of them Debbie can talk about. We have 2 program seminars and then a fundraising chair seminar that anybody can attend, but we're going to talk about how to engage donors. And those are all in one spot, pretty much at the same time, from 12:30 to 3:30 in some blocks there in ballroom B and C at the convention center. And Debbie, the hoop shoot and the hashtag Elks Always Care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean they're high-level overviews of both the programs. So the first one is about the hoop shoot, just developing, unleashing gritty kids through our free throw program. And then the community investments program, Elks Always Care, is just getting to know all about our grants. If you don't, or if you're just looking for some good ideas, come in and listen to it. We'll have our hoop shoot staff is heading up the hoop shoot seminar, and our SIP staff is heading up the SIP seminar. So come one, come all.
And if you can't attend those and you have questions, or if you just want to stop by and say hi, we'd love to see you at our booth. Come and get some ribbons, ask any questions. Something I always find interesting at convention is we have a lot of people who come up and say, I've been saving this question for months to ask you. We answer our phone if you call. You're welcome to call us, send us an email, and we can answer it then. But if you've been saving it, we will be at the booth and standing ready to answer your questions.
Yeah, that's why we're there. We have a large team at convention so that we can cover all the places where we need to be. But you'll see plenty of burgundy shirts at the booth. And if the person you approach cannot answer your question, they will point you to one of us who can.
For sure. And come and get your ribbons.
So why don't we talk a little bit about, speaking of the education, now, not all of our sessions are for everybody. There is, in fact, one training session that's going on that's for a specific group, Debbie.
That's the state hoop shoot directors. We're having our third days-long training with this group, and we have 33 state directors coming in for the training. We have a welcome reception on Friday night to kick everything off. And then Saturday is a full day of not just about what to get ready for the season that's coming up, but like all about what it means to unleash gritty kids and how to reach out into your community and make sure people know about the hoop shoot, and to schedule the contest, and to partner up with local youth serving organizations and schools on getting the good word out about what it means to participate in this incredible program that's free to all 8 to 13-year-olds. So we're excited about that. And this is the most state directors that we've had attend. So again, this is the third year we've been doing this. Many of the other programs, like VETS, has been doing it for quite a long time. Drug awareness has been doing it for a long time. This is the third time we'll be doing it with state directors, and it's really starting to catch on. Some people will be like, well, I've been the state director for a long time. Why would I come? You're not like, it's not a 3-point program now, or, you know what I mean? Like, you're not changing up the aspect of what the program is, but the point is that there's so much to learn from one another, and different ways of approaching what it means to have a contest in your community, not just a day.
Right. And it's the education that we're preparing for that session. What has changed, what we're stressing. But also it's just the opportunity to network with other and discuss, what works and what hasn't with other state directors, people who are, wearing your same shoes, but in a different state. So
right. And we're at a really we're at an important time with the hoop shoot, because as some people might know, participation from pre-COVID to post has not bounced back. And that's not just unique to our hoop shoot program. That's youth sports across the board. This is happening too. So we really want to make sure we're doing all we can with our program to make sure people know about the benefits of participating in this program. So we'll be talking about that too.
So, of course, the hoop shoot and the national finals in April are one of the things that we will be talking about during our segment of opening ceremonies, which is titled Elks Charities at Work. We'll be hitting the hoop shoot. We'll be talking about the SIP. We'll be talking about scholarships. We will be sharing at least one, but up to 3 videos, one of which we just saw this morning, the day of the taping.
Yeah,
it's really outstanding about an impact grant. For that SIP segment. It's going to be great. It's
going to be fantastic. I don't want to say too much about it. We'll want people to, obviously, who are going to be attending convention, to be there at opening ceremony to see its debut. But suffice it to say that the site visit and the filming and the passion of the people that are part of the El Paso Lodge Impact Grant you're going to be inspired, let's say.
And I'll say this, I suspect that most of our viewers, most of our middies out there, they're the type of people who are going to opening ceremony anyway. They go year after year. But if you're watching now and you're one of those people who said, hey, I went 10 years ago, I went 15 years ago, and opening ceremonies wasn't for me, I encourage you to give it another look, because the format's changed, what we're showing, what we're sharing. It's very entertaining, and it'll make you feel good about your membership card.
Yeah, it's not the opening ceremony of 2012 when we were in Austin. Like I said, the format's really changed a lot, and it's entertainment.
Yep. So anything that we've missed before we go? We close with some tips from our two scouts on the site visit. Kate, anything we need to hit?
You know, I just want to mention, I know coming back to the booth and the exhibit hall, we also have a new booth this year for the hoop shoot. So you're going to want to come by and see that. It's been redesigned, freshened a bit. And what's really great is if you come to the ENF booth on Saturday and the Scholar Advisory Board. So they'll be there.
You cut out for a second there. You said that if you come to the booth, you'll get to meet the Scholar Advisory Board members. They'll be there. They're ambassadors of the program. They'll be on site at the booth, saying hi, handing out ribbons, ask them about their scholarship, ask them about their educational experience. They're there for that. And then our two backboard members will be at the hoop shoot booth.
Yes. And so we hope to see you there. Come by, bring your socks, your new socks, your gently used children's books, and meet these really great young people who are looking forward to meeting you.
People love to get the ribbons that we have at our booth too. So that's yet another reason to drop in. We'll still have ribbons for your credentials.
Sure.
Right.
It's a good time. It's a reunion, like you said at the beginning. It's a reunion for us.
Right.
With a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sure people want to know, the two of you went to Austin as part of a site visit in September, October last year, to really scout out locations for these events that we've been talking about. You got to see a lot of locations. Could you each have one or two tips that you would like to share to our viewers, things that they ought to do while they're in Austin?
That's a good question. Well, first, eat tacos because they're everywhere. Austin, in addition to the live music capital of the world, I think is the taco capital of the Southwest.
I think that's a safe recommendation for Austin. It's a safe recommendation for Minneapolis. Eat tacos. Just
eat tacos.
Wherever you go.
Wherever you go. Yeah. We had a great time too. I mean, there's live music everywhere, which I think is great. I know we have a few musicians at our two events. And the convention team over at the Grand Lodge, they have worked with the city of Austin to get some musicians as well into the exhibit hall and the convention center. So I'm excited about that. I think that that's something that's so great about that city. It is going to be hot.
Heat dome.
Heat dome. It's going to be an interesting weather week. And so I say, hydrate and come and see us inside in the air conditioning.
If you haven't been to Austin, I mean, first of all, it's a really walkable city. So we're really concentrated where the convention center is, where at least most of the hotels that I know of are pretty close to the convention center. So that's great. There's a ton of it's all restaurants and bars and mini markets and stuff like that. So there's a lot of that. You don't have to worry about that. And I'd say almost every place is probably really good. They're known for their food. You mentioned 6th Street Gym, that's still there. That's still happening. It's still the dueling piano bar. Pete's dueling piano bar. And isn't there a Hall at the Moon too? There might be two. I'm not sure, but Pete's was the main one that Jim.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time at Pete's.
Yeah, Jim saw the lights come up a lot at Pete's.
So there's time to go home.
That's always a good time. And I think, many people just wander up and down 6th Street. It's just one bar after another, and it's a lot of fun. And that's what it's fun for with live music. So stay hydrated. It's gonna be hot. Other than that, I mean, there's a lot right there. You're
There
going to be
is.
able to take advantage of a lot that's right there. It's the state capitol. So if you have time and you want to go visit the state capitol, I'm sure that that's something you could do.
There's bats.
State
And-
Capitol, 6th Street.
Uh-huh.
State Capitol.
I think that's how a lot of people view. It's
Right.
also where the University of Texas, Austin, it's their flagship university is there. So
Mhm.
that's,
And there's a lot of bats.
and there's the Bat
There's
Bridge.
the bat,
Yes.
the Bat
Yes.
Bridge, the Congress Street Bat Bridge. Yeah. So keep an eye out for those bats.
So there's fun to be had. There's sights to be seen. There are tacos to be eaten. Austin next week. It's going to be great.
It's gonna be
And we hope
great.
to see you there,
I'm
right?
really looking forward. And like this weather here we're having in Chicago right now, it's 97 degrees today. So like it's really getting us primed and ready.
Ready.
It's
yeah.
training. Yeah.
All right, Kate, you have a final thought you want to share before we say goodbye?
It's something that we always tell our staff, that this is our biggest week, really. We, being a national organization is great, but we don't get to see people face to face that often, a few times a year if we're lucky. And so we're thrilled to be on site and to meet and greet with our volunteers and our donors. We're bringing some newer staff, so they're gonna jump in and be a part of it as well. So we're excited to see you in Austin.
All right. Well, Kate, we know you've been busy. We know there's still a lot of work to do on final details for next week. So we're going to say goodbye to you. Thank you for taking time out from your busy schedule to share your expertise and your convention wisdom with us and our viewers.
Thank you.
All
Thanks,
right.
Kate.
Safe travels.
All right. Bye.
Jim,
Okay, Kate Edsey.
she didn't sound like a bag of cats at all.
That's because we turned the volume down.
I didn't.
So anything else been going on before we say goodbye? It's been, lots happened since our last episode at 86, which was in March, and we're sorry for that. We really do try to do this once a month, but as things get busy, as other things are happening, this is just the easiest thing to
Well,
chat.
I think we really let our communication shine after our big events. So the Leadership Weekend, the Hoop Shoot National Finals, all
Oh,
of
there's
that.
plenty of others. Yeah, plenty of other content that,
Right.
as well.
So, no, I am very much looking forward to seeing people that, like you said, we only see usually once a year.
Yeah.
So that was the big focus of the big episode 87, and we'll be back. Who knows when?
Yep.
Probably
Hopefully
take
next
July
month.
off.
Hopefully, yeah.
We'll probably be back in August. Get ready. Start talking about, the NBS contest launches on August 1st. The Legacy contest opens on September 1st. The Hoop Shoot season will be new. There's so many things to talk about.
The wheel just keeps turning.
Sure does.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up. If you have enjoyed this episode of the Midday Minute, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, probably Kate, thumbs down. Either way, share this far and wide so your friends and your social network can benefit from Kate's advice and wisdom and the other things we had to talk about on this episode. If you're not already subscribing to our YouTube channel, what are you doing? What is wrong with you? It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. All you got to do is tap that button and then hit the bell so you'll be notified every time we post new content. And there's a lot coming down the pike. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, there is.
Videos I mentioned that we're going to be showing at opening ceremony will be, as soon as convention's over, will be going up.
Yeah.
And you won't know about it if you don't subscribe and you don't tap that bell.
Tap it. Tap that bell.
You want to be in the know. You don't want to be in the know.
You do.
I think you're so out of practice. I don't even remember how I closed the show. I think that about wraps it up, doesn't it?
That wraps it up, Jim.
Thanks so much for giving us a few minutes of your day. We hope to be back in July or August or eventually, and we really hope to see you in Austin. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.